And so you can see right here it states PRGN 2012 has the potential to be the first FDA-approved therapeutic for the treatment of adults with RRP, a rare and devastating chronic disease for which the current standard of care is repeated surgeries. And so bearing in mind the catalyst, which I mentioned coming up, in the mid to end of 2025 around potential approval by the FDA, and then the next phase of the marketing and the commercialization of the treatment as well, has led analysts to put a price target, and they range from $4 to $7, which you can see right here. And you can see that there's a mean price of around $5 here as well. But it's also worth considering that Precigen have actually projected a market opportunity of more than 1 billion in peak annual sales of PRGN 2012. And about 2 billion in peak annual sales globally. And so one of the things to consider with this statement is that some of Randall Kirk's previous treatments have had similar projections. And bearing in mind that these stocks, have sold at a range of between $30 to $64, it's worth bearing that in mind and not just looking at these short-term kind of analyst price projections, and considering that, upon an acquisition, Precigen could potentially be going for a price in and around that range. Now, this is just information that I'm relaying at you. It's not my projection or prediction. I'm just looking at historical patterns of the past. When pharmaceutical companies have come and acquired some of Randall Kirk's previous companies, they've gone for a ballpark of $30 to $60, And it's really important to consider the statement around this potential acquisition of Precigen, simply because they've recently announced that they will present plans for realizing the commercial vision for PRGN 2012 at the 43rd Annual JP Morgan Healthcare Conference. And so going on the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference website, you can see that it connects global industry leaders, emerging fast growth companies, innovative technology creators, and members of the investment community. And so while Precigen's short-term focus is around getting the approval of PRGN 2012 by the FDA, and then the potential commercialization of the treatment, the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference could lay the groundwork. It's an opportunity for Precigen to showcase the developments of PRGN 2012, to showcase the potential commercial opportunity which would be available to larger pharmaceutical companies should they acquire Precigen, and could be seen as a move to kind of position themselves in a way for a future acquisition as well. And so going back to Randall Kirk and his proven track record, we're talking about a guy who sold clinical data to Forest Laboratories for $30 a share. He sold Skios to Johnson & Johnson for $45 a share. And he sold Neuro Pharmaceuticals for $64 per share. From one perspective, the short-term analysts have this price bracket, but I'm really looking at Randall Kirk and the moves he's made in the past. He's going to want to get the best possible price for PGEN, and it's probably in and around that time. My strategy is to kind of match and mirror the investment strategies of these billionaires, investing with them, aligning my money with them, and then potentially exiting with them as well. And on the topic of acquisitions, one thing that's really critical to consider is that Merck, who are a pharmaceutical company with a market cap of around 250 billion, they actually already hold a 7% stake in Precigen, which you can see here. And it could be, given their current stake in Precigen and the vested interest in the success of PRGN 2012, that Merck actually positioned themselves at the front line of the queue for the acquisition. And so, as always, I will keep you posted with the developments of Precigen moving forward, the potential approval by the FDA, and any other kind of matters around Precigen, and all the other stocks that I document on this channel as well. But look, in the meantime, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.